4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Prime Energon, and today we finally got the Transformers Studio Series Thundercracker in the house. I've been waiting a long time for this figure, and I went ahead, just pulled the trigger, and ordered this off of Amazon. Came in pretty good packaging, no mess ups on the box or anything, so let's get started. First and foremost, thank you guys for joining me here on Prime Energon. I really appreciate it. So make sure you guys are subscribed. That way you don't miss out on future videos. It helps me out, it helps the channel out to grow. So subscribe. Let's get started. So here we go. Nice artwork of Thundercracker on the front in robot mode and in plane mode. You get Transformers the movie, Thundercracker at the bottom, Studio Series. The image turns over to this side. You got Transformers Studio Series E8. He is a Voyager class. And then going on over to the back, you get some nice product shots of Thundercracker in his robot mode and in his jet mode. So you do get a nice little screen grab up here of the movie of them on Astro Train deciding who's going to get thrown off, I think. And then Transformers, Thundercracker on the side. Transformers, the movie, Thundercracker up top. So normally I don't do unboxings on this channel. I just review it, but I'm excited for this, and I want to get the first experience on screen of this figure just because I've been waiting for it for so damn long. And here it is in the packaging, and they did pack everything else, a lot of stuff over here on the side, just because it's too narrow to put the wingtips on, so they cut them off for some reason. Yeah, they want to keep the boxes all the same. They could have maybe squeezed it in there, I don't know, but yeah, that's why the little pieces are missing, so it can fit in the box. It's weird. We got his null rays over here. We got his wing tips over here as well, which I might just end up gluing these on. And we have parts forming. But you can have these on if you want to have them on, or you could store them in the back. It's parts forming, whatever. I really don't care. So let's go ahead and slap these on. So they do have an orientation on these. So the pointy side is going to be facing up. And like I said, I might just end up gluing these on, but they look like they're pretty snug in there. They're not going to be falling off anytime soon. So that's just great. And then we got his null rays, which might as well take a look at them. So they are clear plastic, painted blue. Don't know why they couldn't have just done them in a full blue. But as you can see right there, a little bit of a thinness in the paint right here on one of them, but not too bad. I think they just could have done them in blue. Why they did them in a clear and painted them, I do not know, but it is what it is. There you go for that. Just stick them on the side. And then as far as the parts forming, these will go on the side of his feet, just like so. This side over here. And you can have these on during transformation and have them on in alt mode like that. But if you want a cleaner look, you can take these off and have that cleaner look, the G1 look. So taking a closer look at Thundercracker, love the expression on his face. Look at that. He's just a happy motherfucker to see you. This looks awesome. Love the gray. Love the red eyes. He looks amazing. Love the head sculpt. It's not black. It's more of a like a dark gray. You do get some light piping on his eyes. You can see right there. A little bit of light piping, but the eyes are painted, I believe, so it's not as extreme for that light piping. Taking a look at the chest area, much improved from the Earthrise Seeker mold. All of this is going to be painted gray. So this is going to be blue plastic, I believe, painted over in a gray plastic. So be careful with that chest and these exhaust or intakes up here. It's a matte finish, so hopefully it holds up pretty well, especially during transformation. And the cockpit in the front and center looking very nice. Taking a look at the arms, very G1 Thundercracker. I think he looks fantastic. A lot of people are complaining he's too plain, but I like it. I like the G1. You get the Decepticon logo on the wings. No articulation on the wings other than this to maybe get the wing out of the way for the arm, but I kind of wish they swung back a little bit. Taking a look at the crotch, it is one piece. I kind of wish it was two pieces. Taking a look at the legs. Very nice, clean G1E legs. You get some, a little bit of a dark black right here. And then you get the black for the feet with a little bit of silver gray on the front of the feet as well. And you get some thrusters at the bottom. Cleans up quite nicely. The back is a little messy with all this waffling. I kind of wish they would have been a little bit more detailed on that and cleaned this up, especially with the parts forming back here. It does not look the greatest from the back. I kind of wish this was a little bit smoother like the front is, but it is what it is. You get some nice striping on the side. So articulation of Thundercracker. Head is on a ball joint. Can't look down that far. Can't look up that far. You get a little bit of side to side and can move all the way around. A little hard to get to with these intakes up top. Arms can go all the way around. Can go all the way out. You do get a upper bicep rotation, which is kind of weird because a null ray is attached to that joint right there. So that allows him to bring his arm up and still have null rays down. You do get wrist rotation, so that's fantastic. You do get a waist rotation, which only goes that far, which I think it's fine, and for mostly what people need. Doesn't go all the way around. If you move this little piece out of the way, legs can kick up forward, can kick back that far, and can do the splits as well. You do get a very stiff upper thigh joint, and then you do get a about 90-degree bend at the knee, and you do get some angle tiltage right there, and the foot can go up. That's for transformation. Oh, it fell off. Foot fell off. So let's compare with him with all the other Decepticons. So here we got Transformers Studio Series Megatron, looking fantastic. Here we go for Transformers Earthrise Starscream, which later on will be updated to this mold. Cannot wait for that, but there you go. Pretty much the same size as Starscream, as when it comes down to that. And then here we go for Thrust, as far as size-wise goes. And again, pretty much almost the same size as all the other Seekers, just refined when it comes down to the size of Thundercracker. So there you go, two Seekers right there. And here we go for Studio Series Soundwave. Very nicely done. The scaling on these guys is fantastic. They go pretty well together when it comes down to the scaling of these, and having Megatron be the biggest and the tallest, with all the other Seekers being about the same size as Soundwave. And now for transformation of Studio Series Thundercracker. So we're going to go ahead and take off the null rays and set those aside. We will be putting those back on. We're going to collapse the fist, open up the arms, bring the fist in, and then close them back up. And then now we're going to go ahead and come on over to the chest and pull this whole assembly up just like that, and just keep it in there like that. We're going to bring out the nose cone, and all of this stuff will accordion up just like that. And then now you can go ahead and just tilt the head back a little bit, and then snap in the front nose cone like so. And then now we can go ahead and bring this whole assembly up for now and keep it right there. Now we're going to take these little side skirts and we're going to fling these inward, and that will allow us to bring the arms in. And then bring the chest back down. We're going to get some peg connections, slot connections right here. And then this one is going to go into that hole right there. And bring the chest down just like so. And now we got this look right here. And now we can go ahead and close in the front of jet mode and snap that into place. Push the feet up. Combine down the middle. Open up these back panels. That way we can bring the feet in. And go ahead and bring this panel back. And this will clip into the back of the legs and rear fins. And just have them like so. Bring them up. Bring them up. And then now we can rotate the wings and sort of move them around the arm. There's very little clearance around this arm. So just be careful not to stretch them too much. So bring them back around that arm, close it down, and then these will sort of notch right into that tip right there. And then we can go ahead and squeeze them in. And now we can go ahead and bring back the rear tail fins and put them down. So there you go for Transformation 4 Studio Series 86 or Studio Series Thundercracker. Looking fantastic. Look at this. We're going to go ahead and put the null rays at the bottom right here on this outer peg. You could do either inner or outer. I'm going to go ahead and choose the outer one. And there you go for weapon storage. So taking a look at some of the details. Love the coloration and this red stripe going down the wings with the little white stripe on there. You get the Decepticon logo on both of the sides. And then checking out the front of the plane mode, looking fantastic. Here we get some gray for those intakes. The cockpit can open, so you do get an opening cockpit, which is pretty cool. You can't really fit anything in there, but it opens. And then you also do get some landing gear as well, so we're going to go ahead and flip that out. And then that way, when you have him sitting down, you won't be scraping all that paint off of his chest. It'll sort of just keep it off the ground, so that's also quite nice. Now the bottom looks like shit. This big old gap right here in the middle of his chest, very unsightly. And the legs, the feet just hanging out right here. I kind of wish they could have figured something a little bit out with that, like they could have turned it into the thrusters maybe, but it is what it is. You get the thrusters on the rear. And then taking a look at the back fins right there, done in a sort of a matte, like dark gray, not quite black. And taking a look at the detail up top. All right, so here we go for comparisons in their alt modes. We have Starscream over here from Transformers Earthrise Starscream. We have, of course, the legendary Studio Series Thundercracker. And here we got Thrust. So fantastic. Checking out the details on all of these. So much improved overall. Definitely looks pretty much the exact same, but with improvements. And checking out the details right here. So the cockpit a little bit shorter on the new one compared to the old Earthrise on there. And the nose is a little bit shorter as well. Actually a little bit longer on the new one. But yeah, there you go for the size of these and how they clean up on the bottom, which pretty much almost the same thing. Same transformation almost. The arms go into the same place and the legs go into the same place as well. But checking out how they look, I do like Starscream's wings on the back. They clean up a little bit more than the new one. Just it looks a little bit better on Starscream. But there you go for comparisons between these three guys. Cannot wait to get Starscream in a new mold and Skywarp in a new mold for this new Studio Series, for the new Seekers in this Studio Series lineup. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and I will see you next time here on Prime Energon. Peace.